What's up guys, Woo here, back again with another Division 2 build. Guys, this is my best burn build for PvE. And I'm utilising the Vile Mask. It is out of this world. Been rolling with this today in PvE and everything fecking burns. It shreds. And the sheer amount of damage you can push out, given there's not much skill damage on the build whatsoever, it is mental. This is a build I highly recommend you piece together and utilise in PvE and watch the world burn. And I'm one of them guys, I'm happy when I'm watching the world burn, especially those pesky NPCs. I'm loving it. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Thumbs, doodle, that genuinely helps. And of course, if you're not subbed to the channel, drop the woo bomb on the sub button, ding that bell to be notified when I upload my shizzle. Guys, I'm approaching 9k. Guys, drop the woo bomb. Let's move this. Okay peeps, here goes. This is my brilliant Vile Mask build for PvE. I've utilised many builds in PvE. I test a lot of stuff whilst going through different build mechanics. I test them in the range, test them in PvE, heroic content. And this is perhaps the most chaotic, the most destructive build I have pieced together. It is fecking insane. So guys, I'm rolling with Technician. Now before anybody states, hang on, hands up, there's always a teacher's pet at the front of the class that will say, guys, because I'm using Technician, it grants you 1+ skill tier. So what you could do, you could take away a piece of skill tier and replace that with armor. Yes, of course, that is a possibility on this build. But how I've got these pieces and how I've got it set up, I can't do that. It is what it is. Trust me guys, I don't need it. The many missions I've ran with this, you just don't need it guys. You don't need it at all. It is crazy. You've seen the gameplay. It is mental. So, but if you can, then substitute one of your skill tiers for armor. That will help a little bit in terms of survivability. Just a little bit. Now guys, I'm getting that 10% skill damage, which is nice because that gives my extra skills a kick in the right direction, and I need that because I need that extra bit of damage. Now there are different options how you can roll with this setup. The first one is you can roll with Firewall. Because this is a burn build, it goes hand in hand. And why I say that is, again, you'll get that extra burn duration being the first thing, which is nice. Don't get me wrong, it is nice. An extra 20% is an extra 3 or 4 seconds. Now, I have tested with both, and I found this setup to be more beneficial for me, my playstyle, and the extra damage. So that's just me. By all means, again, that 30-second burn duration, they're already gone in that time. So, an extra few seconds, is it worth it? For me, no, I'd rather the extra 10% damage. But it is entirely up to you. Now let's go for the build. We'll start with the mask. The mask is the Vile Mask. This is the creme de la creme, the bread and butter of the build. Now with this, it is crazy. It is fecking awesome. So you can see 9.2% status effects, 9.5% hazard protection. This was how it dropped. And 11.5% skill haste utility mod. But the talent, all singing, all dancing, toxic delivery. Status effects also apply a damage over time, debuff for 10 seconds. Total damage dealt is equal to 50% of your concussion grenade and increased by your status effect attributes, which is nice. Now again, with this, there is a reason why I'm rolling with this particular setup. It is, guys, yes, it is. There's a reason. There's always a reason. So, but I like this. I really like this mask. I've had this gifted to me. Happy days. Checks in the post. Love this mask. It shreds. It really does. It is a go-to mask for PvE. It's crazy. The amount of damage you output with this is crazy. Let's go through the chest piece, and that is Eclipse Protocol. I'm rolling with the 4-piece, which is great. Let's go through the gear set. So 15% status effects for the 2-piece. For the 3-piece, I'm looking at 15% skill haste and 30% hazard protection. The 4-piece is indirect transmission. Your status effects now spread on kill to all enemies within 15 meters and refresh 50% of the duration. Again, this is awesome. Now, in terms of the attributes, then we'll go through the talent on the chest piece. Is 10% status effects, 11.6% skill haste, and the talent proliferation. Increases indirect transmission range from 15 meters to 20 meters and refresh the percentage from 50% to 75%. That's an extra 5 meters An extra 25% percentage. Great. That's awesome. And the chest piece is pretty stonking on this build. It's just going to spread it even further. Exactly what you want to deal more damage over time. It's great. Now with this, it is great. How I have rolled with this, guys, in terms of my attributes, I want status effects. So I have rolled onto every piece possible status effects. Pretty easy, and that's again a reason why I can't utilize that piece of armor effectively to get that, again, to get some more survivability, because I've got status effects everywhere. So guys, that's what I look at if you're putting this build together. Status effects all the way home for your build. Now the holster, again guys, the song remains the same. The attribute is status effects 10% max. Knee pads, again, 10% status effects. And the gloves, you guessed it, 10% status effects. Nice. Now the backpack. The backpack is Childlight Industries Corporation, which is 15% explosive damage. That is brilliant. Exactly what I want on this setup. And again, it's that nice little kick, that initial damage boost from my skills. And that is exactly what I need on this build. So 7.7% skill damage. I'd love a little bit more, of course I would, but I wanted status effects on there, that's for sure. That's 10% status effects. 11.3% skill haste. Now the talent, perfect shock and awe, which is perfect for this build. I have tested talent after talent, piece after piece on this setup, and for me, in terms of damage, this is the go-to backpack. Perfect shock and awe. Applying a status effect to an enemy increases total skill damage and repair by 20% for 27 seconds. This is active all the time. You've got two skills that will deliver status effects, so you're consistently dealing that extra 20% skill damage 100% of the time with this build. It is OP. Brilliant. Guys, this is sensational. There are slightly different ways to roll if you wish. For example, combined arms, that again for a bit more damage potentially, or you're looking at something like tech support, again for a little bit more damage, but this is up all the time. All of the time, and given again there's not a lot of skill damage on this build, it's all status effects. Again, it just prolongs the burn. So I prefer this on my setup because it is up all of the time. It's brilliant on this build. It's fantastic. Now let's go through the weapons. First weapon is the Everlasting Gaze. Great weapon. Love this rifle. I think it's perfect for this build. Now, the talent is Perfect Perpetuation. Headshots grant plus 50% status effect damage and duration to the next status effect that you apply. Again, there is that cooldown of 16 seconds. Now, I interchange my primary and secondary weapon. Again, it's just dependent on what's happening, whether on cooldown or wherever it may be. But I like that extra effect damage, and that duration is nice. It's just going to elevate the skills, the damage even more. Perfect on your build. It's perfect. But again, how I play with this style, I just switch to my secondary, which we'll go through shortly. But in terms of mods on this, it is simply critical hit chance, rounds, crit chance, and critical hit damage. Now my secondary is the Harmony, which is awesome. It's just a great weapon for skill builds. It elevates your damage, elevates your weapon damage. This is perfect for all skill builds. Perfectly in sync. Hitting an enemy grants 20% skill damage for 5 seconds. Using a skill or damaging an enemy with a skill grants 20% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Damage increases at double when both buffs are active at the same time. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Again, I fluctuate between primary and secondary weapons. Depending what's happening. Depends if Perfect Perpetuation is procced. If it's on cooldown, I will switch. And that's it. It's all like using your loaf on this build. And this is how I'm utilising this to get that extra damage. And guys, you've seen the gameplay. It shreds. Now in terms of mods, critical hit chance, rounds, more crit chance, and critical hit damage. Now the Sidearm is simply the backup boomstick, simple as that. I like the look of it and I don't really use it, it's there for show. However, if you're looking at a heroic mission with directives on where you need to have a sidearm which has more than 2 bullets in there, you want to use it effectively, then I switch to the Maxim 9 because it's got perfect spike. Headshots grant 25% skill damage for 15 seconds. Again, I always leave that in my inventory because, again, if I'm running a heroic directive where I need to use my pistol, that is the pistol of choice. Guys, let's take a look at the skills. Now, I'm rolling with the Airburst Seeker Mine, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Don't worry about that cooldown. It's wrong. I'm in the range. Don't worry about it. It's about 16, 17 seconds, but it's great. Just over 1 million damage. The burn damage is 255,845. Again, that's base. The burn duration is 28 seconds. If you're running Firewall, that will elevate to about 30.2.3 seconds, which is, again, a few seconds, but I'd rather that 10% skill damage on top of each tick. I think that just pays dividends on the build. And again, the radius is 6 meters. Now, in terms of mods, they are damage, health, and more damage. Now, my primary skill is all about the Firestarter Chem Launcher, which is just, yeah, it's perhaps the best skill in the game at present. It deals a lot of damage, that's for sure. Now, with this, it's 8 ammo. Don't worry about the cooldown. It's about an 18-second cooldown, wherever it may be. The radius is nearly 4 meters. The duration is 20 seconds of that cloud being available to pop. 508,000 damage. Again, the burn damage is 255,575. This will be elevated once I'm using my weapons. There will be an extra nice churn of damage, and that's great on the setup. Love this. Now, in terms of mods, there's 2. Burn strength, and again, that is near max. I think 7.5 is max. 7.4. You know, happy days. I love this particular mod. And then ammo. I'd rather the ammo for the extra ones in the mag. I think it pays dividends to have that as one of the mods. Now, guys, we'll go through the skill haste now. Let's take a look. Again, don't worry too much about the weapon damage. Your skills do the work for you, that's for sure. So don't worry too much about the stats. It's not about that. Skill builds are not about your weapon damage. It's all about your skill damage. Now, in terms of skill haste on this, I'm working through the watch level skill haste. So it's currently at, it's not 500%. It's not 500%, guys. Let me just tune this bad boy, so we can just take, again, a genuine reflection of what the numbers are. Happy days. Right, let's take a look now. So the Seeker Mine is still at 5 seconds, and that's still at 8 seconds. Happy days. Skill haste, is it still at 500%? It sure well is. Okay, guys, the skill haste is decent, but not that great because I've invested much into status effects on the build. Again, guys, that's what you want on this setup. I'm going to demonstrate now how powerful this is with very little skill damage. Again, I do need a little bit, that little bit of a kick, in all fairness, to make sure I'm getting them kills, but still, it kicks really, really hard. Let's take a look. We're on very hard. Let's take a look at the NPCs. And double click the right bumper will automatically proc this. Again, I have not done anything in terms of the weapon damage. I've just popped that. Look, it's, yeah, you can see, guys, it absolutely shreds. Any enemies, NPCs within that area of effect are gonna be having nightmares because of how hard this hits. And let's try the Airburst Seeker Mine. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You can see, and there we go again. You see, Perfect Shock and all is active, and that's great on this build. It really, really is. And it's still going. Look, it's still going. Look at this. Brilliant. This is how scary this build is. Again, you've seen the gameplay where the red bars, even purple bars, are just slowly losing their armor, and then they go, and then it procs again on the nearest enemy, and if there's 3 or 4 enemies there, you know you're laughing all the way to the bank because they will absolutely shred. Love this build, and this build is perfect for PvE content. It shreds, it melts everything consistently. This is the kind of build that you want to work towards. If you've got the Vile Mask, guys, then get this piece together because you will not look back on this build. And just look at the burn. It's brilliant. And they're still cooking. Happy days. But guys, yes, this is my best Vile Mask burn build. PvE. Can you use this in PvP? Someone's going to ask that in the comment section. Yes, you can. I would invest in a piece of armor. If you can reroll one of them into armor, then you guys, happy days. But it will be nerfed in PvP, that's for sure. The Chem Launcher Fire Starter is OP. Now in PvP, it's so strong at present, it's going to get a nerf. But PvE, it's good to go, guys. And it's definitely worth investing in a build like this because it'll be your go-to build in the game. So guys, enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.